Okay, so just to finish up now the exercise with the landscape greens, what I'm going to do is paint some of the tube greens down here alongside this corner that we just painted our greens from using black and cadmium yellow and black and yellow ochre, not using any blue. And like I said, you get a really natural green. And if you don't think it's a natural green, looking at it here, you'll notice when you use these mixtures on your canvas. Um, but you can also see from what I'm going to do here now is paint in some of the squares with just the regular tube greens. And so I'm starting with Hooker's green, and I'm going to paint this in here. And you can see as it's going on as well, it doesn't have the depth of the mixed color. It's still got some of the gray peeking through. Now it will cover well once I grab some more of it. But you can see there how much more of a different green that is. And let's just see if we can zoom in a little bit on this. Sorry about that there. So you can see that green, it's a lot more this here. Does that look as natural as the rest of that? I don't think so, you know. Um, Now you might still have some greens like that in a nature scene, but to me that's more like the green of a Heineken bottle or some, dish soap than these greens, which I think look more grassy. And so, it's not a bad green, but it just doesn't have the earthiness that the other ones do. Let me get another brush and I'll put out another tube green, and we'll see. This next one is Sap Green by Michael Harding, and I'll put this on the other side here. Now I would say compared to the Hooker's Green, the Sap Green from Michael Harding has a really deep color that still has an earthiness to it. Um, it's very dark. It's almost like a tree at night. If you were doing the foliage, would be that color. It's very dark. But that can be lightened up with a bit of yellow. And when you do that, it probably won't look as acidic as something like a Hooker's Green would when you add yellow with it. Let's just, for the sake of it, I'm going to open up yellow ochre. So I'm not going to take a bright yellow. I'm just going to take yellow ochre. I'm going to mix that with the sap green and see what we get. And I'm going to try to go for something that's in between the ochre and the sap green. And I'm going to bring that up here. Oh, not getting focused there. So that's bringing it back to a nice bright grassy green, but without making it something that's like this up here, which is way too bright. But if you're trying to get away from this more orangey green, which doesn't make sense, but that's what it is, and you're going for more green, you can go for that. But I'm going to get back to just doing the straight tube greens again, because I got a little bit off track there. So the next one I'm going to do is phthalo green. And phthalo green is, like phthalo blue, a very powerful color. It can overpower your mixes, and so it's with a little bit of time to get used to the staining qualities of it. I've never been a phthalo guy, but there's some people who love using it, think it's great. I'm going to put it down here. I'm wondering if that was phthalo that was right next to it there before. I'm wondering what this is here. I'll check my notes, because it's looking very similar to this. Maybe it's not. But again, with these tube greens, you're getting that more Heineken bottle color, whether it's phthalo, whether it's hooker's green, whether it's sap green. And I just feel like it's so blue. You know, you're not going to use that except for a certain type of a tree. You know, if you've ever flown into Ireland and you were looking down at the greens that are in there, you'll know that everything looks very green, but you're not seeing this and you're not seeing that in the grass. You know, you're seeing these things in the grass here, and that's all the ones that I made with the yellow ochres and black, the ultramarine blue, and cadmium yellow across here, and the cadmium yellow and black, which is along here. Okay, so we have one more tube green, which is Viridian, which is also popular. I think I would not use it unless I am really certain that that's the color of the green in my painting, because I don't think it matches anything except for specific greens that again are in like certain kind of evergreen trees or something. I think it's very turquoise. I have trouble with it. I'm sure there's some people who would tell me that just because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But this is Viridian. I mean, to me it looks almost like something that you're using for a seascape. You know, it's just so turquoise to me. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'm going to show you for the mixing. of landscape greens, and you'll just have to figure the rest out on your own. I'll just show you this. I know I was saying it's really bad to buy art supplies from Amazon. This was a palette I got. It's just a little plastic palette that was really cheap. These are actually handy, um, just for something like this, if you're doing a little video or a really quick exercise and you don't want to have a whole palette full of stuff. Um, Even when I did this, like I painted on it before, I just let the paint dry on the other side and then I use the other side, and then I think that'll be pretty easy to clean off because it's plastic. Um, Plastic is bad, I know, but I will reuse this. I wouldn't buy this if I was gonna throw it away. Most of my other palettes are wood, and I do clean them all off. And I'll clean this one off as well. But I just wanted to mention that because I told you about how bad the palette knives from Amazon were. So I wanted to say that that was one thing that I got that actually did work out. And it's not because I want to support Amazon or tell you should buy stuff from there. I've already said you shouldn't. It's just if I am going to show you something that I got from there, I'll tell you what it's like, how I found it, if it was useful at all, or if it was a piece of junk. I'm just being honest.